2019 Annual Safety Review. Injury Illness Prevention Program, more commonly known as the Employee Safety Handbook. This training will highlight changes to the 2019 Employee Safety Handbook and provide an annual review of other important safety information. Please complete this training once you receive your new Safety Handbook so you can follow along in the book. Once you complete this training, if you have any questions, please contact your Division Safety Manager. As you go through this training, remember the key to a successful program is training and developing a strong safety culture. Emergency Action Plan. Each facility has a specific emergency action plan. This information will be made available to you by PSSI Management. It is important that you know and understand your facility's emergency action plan. You must know the alarm method that will notify you of an evacuation, severe weather, or other emergency. Some facilities have alarms for specific events, such as fire, ammonia, or severe weather, while others do not. If the facility does not have an alarm system, various methods of notification may be used, such as two-way radios, horns, or whistles. PSSI team members must be trained and familiar with all emergency procedures in the facility. In the event of an emergency evacuation, severe weather, or other type of emergency, PSSI management shall instruct their team members to meet at the designated meeting area. Once there, PSSI management will take a head count to ensure all team members are accounted for. Head count shall be conducted by using the Assure Emergency Attendance Report or by using the daily PPE sheets if available during an evacuation. In case of inclement weather, the site should have a plan for shelter for PSSI team members. Depending on the emergency, you may be asked to shelter in place. This is a precaution taken to keep you safe while remaining indoors and isolated from the emergency. Shelter in place can mean staying in your work area or selecting a small interior room and taking refuge there. You must ensure all exits remain clear from obstruction, inside and outside the building. Examples of blocked exits may include snowdrift during winter months, construction debris, and improper storing materials. If exits are found blocked, immediately remove the debris and contact plant management. The key to surviving any emergency is to remain calm, remember your training, and follow instructions. If you have any questions or concerns with regards to the emergency action plan, please contact your Division Safety Manager. Lockout, tagout. In the past, PSSI used the term 2-foot rule when defining a safe work distance. To be more consistent, we're now training as an arm's length for safe distance. If hosing, scrubbing, cleaning, or pulling scraps from inside the equipment, a lockout device must first be applied, no exceptions. Some important definitions to remember. Breaking the plane of operation means exposing any part of your body to the operating mechanics inside or within processing equipment. You can break the plane by reaching, stepping, crawling, or leaning into the exterior of any processing equipment or machinery, and into the operating mechanisms which cut, blend, extrude, or otherwise process food product. Breaking the plane of operation is never permitted, whether it is done intentionally or accidentally. Point of operation. The point of processing equipment where work is performed on the processed material, such as cutting, shaping, boning, or packaging. You can find points of operation on other equipment in the facility as well, including points of operation which raise or lower platforms. A pinch point is any point at which it is possible for a person or a part of a person's body to be caught between moving parts of a machine, or between the moving and stationary parts of a machine, or between material and any part of the machine. Supervisor control procedure states that prior to team members entering the work area, the area supervisor or lead shall affix a lockout device to all designated supervisor control equipment. Employees authorized to perform sanitation on equipment under supervisor control must first place their own lockout device over the supervisor control hasp before beginning work. It's important that both the supervisor and team member use the 7 steps of lockout tagout and verify the lockout procedure was successful prior to applying their lockout device. Using supervisor control, the equipment, in some cases, may be run for additional cleaning, but only if all guards are in place and the supervisor is present and in direct view of the team member during the running of the equipment. The supervisor present cannot be performing any other task and must be standing near an e-stop or equipment control switch. The supervisor must maintain line of sight at all times. Team members must maintain a safe working distance or use approved secondary guarding at the point of operation. The Machine-Specific Procedures book should be kept in PSSI plant office and used for training all team members on the equipment in their area. Employees should understand that written procedures exist and are available for review training. Annual periodic inspections should not focus on the team member memorizing the 7 steps. It is much more important for them to understand each step. All 7 steps are important, but the most important is verification, which is the last step of the 7 steps of LOTO. If the team member does not understand any step of the lockout procedure, it must be documented as a deficiency with a corrective action noted in the comment section. Lockout practice boards should be used daily in your PPE meeting. The expectation is all team members use the lockout practice board at least weekly. In some facilities, the team members use the lockout practice board every day. Make the lockout board an important part of your safety culture. PPE. Supervisors shall perform nightly inspections to be sure that all PPE is in proper working order and maintain a record of these inspections. This pre-shift inspection also ensures each employee has all required PPE prior to beginning work. The pre-shift PPE check and safety meeting must take place daily before employees begin work. This is also a good time for discussing operation issues, but the main focus of the meeting must be on safety. The PSSI mandatory stretch program was developed to prevent injuries associated with the job duties of a sanitation team member. These stretches are intended to increase range of motion and activate common muscle groups prior to engaging in such tasks that have the potential to create physical stress. All team members are required to participate in this program prior to beginning their sanitation shift. Pre-shift stretches are important to reducing strains and sprains in the workplace. Supervisors should note any late arrivals and make sure that they do their full stretching routine before going to the floor as well. Chemical splash goggles must be attached to the hard hat with a retainer strap or metal detectable zip tie. The metal detectable zip ties are available on the portal. New for 2019, all employees are required to use chemical splash goggles when they are within splash distance of chemical application or rinsing. Splash distance is defined as the distance chemical can travel when being applied from any chemical applicator. For example, tank foamer, wall foamer, pump spray, etc. Team members working within splash distance must wear appropriate PPE, including eye protection. Team members generally wear 2 layers of gloves. The first layer of cotton or cut resistance for heat and protection, with a second layer of nitrate for protection from the chemicals. Never wear cotton gloves over your nitro gloves, as they may become easily entangled in the equipment and cause a severe injury. Previously, safety vests were mostly worn when foaming, but are now required for sanitizing as well. Protective sleeves should be worn over your gloves and rain jacket. Sleeves and gloves must be inspected daily for tips, holes, and/or signs of wear and replace as needed. Vet gloves may be worn as a best practice, by people working with chemicals as a final barrier against those chemicals. Should the PPE become damaged, the vet gloves provide a final barrier to prevent an injury. Remember, vet gloves should be worn under all other layers of gloves. Rain gear provides a chemical-resistant barrier from chemicals and hot water burns. It is important that the rain gear is properly worn to prevent incident exposure to the skin from these hazards. Proper fit and inspections must be conducted by each employee as well as the supervisor during the pre-shift inspections. Walking and working surfaces. Although there are few changes that have been made to this section for 2019, some key points should be reiterated. The key parts are as follows. Housekeeping. Our work area must be kept clean and orderly. Debris such as large pieces of meat should be removed during dry pickup to eliminate slip and trip hazards. Stairways, catwalks. Never run in the plant, especially up and down stairways. Properly clean up any spills and thoroughly squeegee water off of steps immediately to prevent slipping. Keep all debris off stairs and never store anything in stairways. Handrails should be used at all times, ascending or descending stairwells. Ladders. An inspection of the ladder should be conducted prior to each use. Never stand on the top 2 steps of a ladder. Do not reach or extend your body out on the ladder. Maintain 3 points of contact with the ladder at all times. The safety team has options for different styles of ladders. These ladders can be used to access challenging areas in your facility. Please reach out to the safety team for recommendations. Drains. All drain covers will be in place during sanitation except when it is necessary to uncover the drain for floor rinsing or drain cleaning. When possible, the drain cover should be replaced immediately after you perform the work. Drains should never be left unattended. Unattended means more than 3 feet or arm's length from the drain, or if you are working with your back to the drain or floor opening. If it is necessary to leave a drain cover off for an extended period of time, the use of an attendant or an orange cone is mandatory. New for 2019, cut-resistant gloves will be required when cleaning debris from the drains. Fall protection, new to 2019. The fall protection section has been relocated to the walking, working surfaces section of the handbook. Some key points to remember are prior to using any type of fall protection equipment, team members must conduct a full inspection of each component of the system they are using. Anchor points must be able to support a minimum dead weight of 5,400 pounds. Always remember, fall restraint equipment cannot be used in place of fall arrest equipment. Man lifts, scissor lifts. At no time should a team member operate or engage in any activity involving a man lift without proper training. This training will be provided by an outside training firm or PSSI management. Please contact your regional safety manager to set up a training. Note, PSSI requires fall protection while using man lifts, scissor lifts. Bloodborne pathogens. The section for bloodborne pathogens discusses properly utilizing a bloodborne pathogen kit and following universal precautions. Engineering and work practice controls may prevent or minimize exposure. It is important to wash hands and skin immediately after any contact with potentially infectious materials and dispose or decontaminate PPE properly. PPE is available at no cost for employees when potential contact can be expected. Any contaminated PPE or waste shall be disposed of in red biohazard bags. These are located in the kit, and additional bags may be found in the nurse's station or client's safety manager's office. These bags must be taken to the nurse's office, given to ambulance personnel, or taken to a local hospital for disposal. Hepatitis B vaccines are offered at no cost to employees if possible contact to bloodborne pathogens can be expected. Within 10 days of employment, the employee shall receive the vaccine, show documentation of previously receiving the vaccine, or sign a declination form. The declination form will be on file at the corporate office. If the employee chooses to decline the vaccine, he or she may later choose to receive it at no cost. Team members that may be exposed to bloodborne pathogens include team members that clean bathrooms, locker rooms, welfare areas, including break rooms. This may also include the site manager or supervisor assisting injured team members. Please reach out to the work comp department to schedule a hepatitis B vaccination or for a declination form. Hearing conservation. Remember that PSSI is a contractor, therefore we are a guest in our client's plant. This prevents us from instituting controls to reduce noise levels. Also, sanitation requirements in the food industry prohibit many of the acoustical engineering controls that reduce noise. Noise is around you at all times, whether it is at work or at home. Protecting your hearing is very important to your overall well-being. In most of the facilities that we are under contract in, the noise level does not exceed the necessary 85 decibels on an 8-hour time-weighted average during the sanitation process. Therefore, we will institute hearing conservation programs at locations on an as-needed basis. Studies have linked untreated hearing loss effects to irritability, negativism, and anger, fatigue, tension, stress, and depression, avoidance or withdrawal from social situations, social rejection and loneliness, reduced alertness and increased risk to personal safety, impaired memory and ability to learn new tasks, reduced job performance and earning power, diminished psychological and overall health. PSSI has a blanket policy that requires all team members to wear hearing protection when entering any production area. Hearing protection is available in different styles, including earplugs and ear muffs. You must have a minimum of 2 different types of hearing protection available, including earplugs and ear muffs available for our team members to choose from at each location. Yet, to protect against the noise that does exist at our different locations, especially impact noise, Packer Sanitation Services, Inc. requires all team members are to wear hearing protection at all times while working in production areas. Our clients usually require all people working in their facilities to wear hearing protection. Team members are exposed to different noise levels depending on their job and its location in the plant. Sanitation hours vary from plant to plant, but typically last for 6 hours or less. Also, during sanitation, most of the machinery is not running like it is during production. PSSI offers a variety of hearing protection. The type offered may vary at each location. Regardless of what type of hearing protection you are offered, you must know and understand the following information. Remember, your hearing protection must be worn in production areas as well as any designated area or areas of the plant. Electrical safety. All team members must be aware of potential electrical hazards. Team members must immediately inform PSSI management and all affected team members of the hazard. PSSI management will inform the facilities maintenance department. Until the electrical hazard is corrected, the PSSI team member will be instructed by PSSI management on how to avoid the hazard, which may include not sanitizing the area. It is important that all team members understand how to recognize electrical hazards and know how to report them to PSSI management. Like any hazard, once reported, PSSI management must provide a safe workaround and follow-up with our client until the hazard is fixed or eliminated. Access to the inside of any electrical panel rooms should be limited to the facilities maintenance or electricians who have been trained on the hazards and require PPE of electricity and arc flash. Only PSSI management, supervisors, and trained personnel may enter an electrical panel room. Due to the hazards in electrical panel rooms, access is limited and storage of any kind, to include PPE, chemicals, food, drinks, etc., is strictly prohibited by all PSSI team members. GHS. Hazard communication is extremely important for our team members due to the high amount of chemicals found in the workplace. The standard is aligned with the Global Harmonization System to allow for easier identification and understanding of hazardous materials. The GHS allows this by standardized labeling systems and safety data sheet formats. These tools will provide detailed information regarding the use, cleanup, hazards, or first aid of the chemical. Labels also have standardized elements for quick identification. Pictograms allow for quick reference. The words danger or warning signal the level of hazard, and hazard statements provide the nature of the hazard. Detailed descriptions may be found in the GHS section of the Safety Handbook. Proper training must be provided prior to employees beginning work. Training prior to chemical handling may include 1. The chemicals used in your particular workplace. 2. Different hazards and hazard symbols of the chemicals used. 3. Use of the new SDS and chemical labels and tags. 4. Use of personal protective equipment. 5. Mixing and handling of chemicals. 6. Safety procedures while performing specific chemical handling tasks, foaming, scrubbing, transporting, etc. 7. First aid information, including information regarding emergency showers and eye wash stations. Proper chemical use is vital for the safety of our team members. Certain requirements are expected while using chemicals. Team members should know and understand all chemicals being used. Team members must understand that detailed information may be found in the SDS and the location of the SDS binder or binders. Only team members authorized to do so may mix chemicals. Follow proper care and housekeeping while storing or using chemicals. Each team member shall be provided with necessary PPE. One major update for this year is when goggles are required. Due to an increase in eye injury from chemical exposure, employees are now required to wear goggles anytime they are within splash distance of chemicals being used. This includes working in areas where an additional team member may be foaming or using a pump sprayer. In the use of high caustics or chemical dispensing, a face shield and vet sleeves shall also be required. Refer to the Safety Handbook for expectations. Chemical storage areas must remain neat and orderly. Practice proper housekeeping and ensure non-compatible materials are stored separately, for instance, acid and chlorine. Goggles must be worn at all times when entering this area. Additionally, a working eye wash and shower must be working and readily available in the chemical storage area. Eye wash stations are also required within 55 feet or 10 seconds of any area our team members use chemicals. If your facility does not have adequate eye wash stations, portable stations may be ordered through the portal as needed. Care must be taken while transporting chemicals. All secondary containers must be properly labeled and bungs caps must be on properly. Note: ensure that your team members are trained and understand the labels and any additional requirements at your facility regarding labels. If transporting soda beads or high caustics, a face shield shall also be used in conjunction with standard PPE. Never transport acid and caustics on the same cart. No team member may transport chemicals off-site without prior approval from the safety team. This is due to increased risk and regulations involved. Please refer to the Safety Handbook for greater detail regarding chemical handling and storage. Disciplinary action. Minor safety violations. The following steps are minimum disciplinary actions for minor safety violations, excluding Focus 5 and Zero Tolerance violations. 1. First violation, written warning. 2. Second violation, written and meeting with SM. 3. Third violation, suspension without pay. 4. Fourth violation, dismissal. Focus 5 violations. The disciplinary process for Focus 5 violations has changed in 2019 to be more consistent across the board. 1. First violation will result in a 5-day unpaid suspension plus final written warning. 2. Second violation will result in immediate termination of employment. As you know, these violations include lockout violations, not adhering to supervisor control, not following approved blender procedures, handling chemicals without goggles, and failing to maintain company documentation. Zero-tolerance safety violations. In 2019, the Focus 5 policy has been expanded to include 4 serious safety violations that will result in immediate termination. These include 1. Knowingly falsifying company documentation. 2. Knowingly directing an EE to perform an unsafe act. 3. Allowing a team member who has not been trained to perform sanitation. 4. Knowingly bypassing safety devices. If an employee is observed committing a Focus 5 or zero-tolerance violation, PSSI will suspend the team member immediately pending investigation. Thank you for completing this important training and learning about the changes to the 2019 Safety Handbook. Please learn this training and live it every day in your facilities. It's our responsibility as managers to teach and mentor our team members every day. Knowledge has little value unless you share it with your team. Train your team members and promote a strong safety culture. Daily activities like the lockout practice board, hands-on activities, 2-minute drills, ERP, and celebrating your days without injuries will help build and maintain your culture. Celebrate success with your team. Celebrating a small win will lead to bigger achievements and future success. Safety is a core value at PSSI for you, your family, and your coworker. PSSI means family.